and welcome back to Makeup Mandala. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am so excited for today's video because we are getting to play with something we've never touched before, but we are going to today. A wig! I am so excited. So, okay, I got this wig for Christmas. Thank you, Madre. And I am actually going to be basing an entire makeup look on it and end up putting this wig on myself and having a whole different person by the end of this video to show you guys. And so today we are just going to play with makeup. Something that just produces my best work is when I just allow myself to just play and look at all these fun colors, and if it doesn't turn out good, it doesn't turn out good, and if it turns out great, it turns out great. And so that's something I would also encourage in you guys to do, is do what I'm gonna do today and get out all your makeup and just look at it and say, what do I want to do today? What do I feel like it? I'm gonna put green in my eyes, or I'm gonna put pink on my eyes, Cosmo Wanda. Like, I'm gonna play. And so that's what we're gonna do today. And so let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm starting off very blank base. We got blank hair, shirt, face, no makeup, and so we are just gonna start building. So first, you're always gonna need a primer, but the type of primer I'm going in with today is the Pore Professionals, and that is because I want a very, how do I explain this? Very plain base. I want it to be very like packed like it's my skin. Just taking a little bit on my face. And I'm just going to start applying in any spots that I need. So majority on my cheeks and like my nose, my pores need a little bit more. And so that is what I'm going to apply. Once that is all done and set in the face, we of course want a perfect flawless base for this. So I'm going to go in and use my Fit Me foundation, and I'm going to take a little bit and put it on the back of my hand. A little tip is always put your foundation on the back of your hand, because if you put it in your palm, that's where our hands carry the most oils. And so if you want to prevent any more, like any acne at all, definitely use that. One of the smoothest applications I have ever done. I'm using my new beauty blender today. I think that's what it is. So reminder, people, change out your beauty blenders often. It works. But I'm now going to go in with some concealer and just hitting the under eyes and any acne spots I may have in areas that I want to brighten. Really happy with how this base is turning out. I am ready to set with so just picking up a little bit on, or that looks like a lot, on my beauty sponge. I'm just going to press in under my eye, and I'm actually going to be doing stamping motions instead of swiping, because when you have a beauty sponge, sometimes that can pick up the concealer in the foundation and move it around. And as you can see, the difference, I had her on, she would come down to about here. So I'm gonna want to go ahead and brighten up the top part of my face to kind of lift the face and even it out. And so when I take this brightening powder, I'm just going to gunk it up. You should not know that that's a black beauty blender under there. And I'm going to choose, I think for this example, I'm gonna choose my forehead. I am now a powder unicorn. No, I am going to lightly stamp this in, changing the direction of my beauty blender as to create a more well-rounded spot. And as you can see, that difference gives this a much more dramatic effect, and this a lighter effect. Okay guys, now for the fun bit. So as you guys know, the wig is a very, like, I'm gonna keep bringing her on camera because I can't get over it. It's so fun. But okay, enough of that. It is a very big color, right? Okay, so what I want to do is I don't want the eyeshadow to make it look like it's overpowering or it's trying to challenge it. So we're actually gonna go in, and again, we're gonna have some fun. So this is not so much a step-by-step as it is, so we'll see where it goes. But I'm going to take pretty neutral colors, and I'm just gonna start defining my eye a bit. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with something a bit fiercer and pulled, but like in an eyeliner kind of style. So let's see where this goes. Okay, so I kind of have just very lightly swept on a little color inside the lid. And I'm going to do a little under the eye, not going all the way to the inner eye because I don't want to go too extreme yet. But a little tip is when you're just wanting to define, to just kind of get a feel for what you're trying to do, is when it starts looking like when you take a step back and you look and you can kind of see like that's a color instead of just like looking at the eye, like what you notice first kind of thing. Then lay off the color and get a bigger blending brush and start buffing it out. Okay guys, so as you can kind of see, I've laid down some color and defined those eyes, but I look a little sick. So let's add some of the fun part. And you know, as I've been blending, I've been thinking of what I want to do, and the thing that have just stuck with me is like an eyeliner, like a smudged out eyeliner kind of thing, blended into the eye, which is a very weird idea to explain, but you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to take a thinner brush and I'm going to go in with a warm brown first, because remember, we do want to match some of these colors, not perfectly but close. And so taking just a little bit on the tip, and I'm actually going to start with the under eye, and that is just because I want to connect the top and the bottom to kind of like have the whole eye being pulled instead of just the top. Okay, so going in. I don't think I've ever done something that perfect. Yes! Now remember, it doesn't have to be too perfect when it's closer to the eye. This really does, so you want to focus on that majority of the time. But just keeping this kind of stuff a bit smudgier, you'll see why soon. So now I know what you're saying. This is looking a bit weird. But if you just focus on the eye for now, as you can see, you have the line that you would possibly do your liner as. What you're going to start doing is you're going to take that brush, but you're going to angle it flat this way, staying really precise to the line that you created here, and just start bringing that powder into the eye. Never going up, always bringing in. Does that make sense? I should ask you a question. My bad. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now that we have the shape pretty much made out, I'm going to go back in with the original brush I used to define the crease. I'm going to pick up a pretty really neutral cream kind of color to kind of, almost like it matches your skin, just to lightly start blending out some of this color, just so it's not so extreme. Okay, so now that is, I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna come back in and there's gonna be way more that'll make this make more sense. But the part that's gonna make this not look as like, I feel like it looks a little stupid right now, and so I want to change that. So I'm actually gonna go in and let me grab this brush because it works much better. It is a fine pointed brush, and I'm going to take that same dark color, not the light one, and I'm actually going to do a cat eye on the inside. Now I don't know if any of you have ever seen that. I'm sure you have, but is where you follow the lash line and you make a triangle going into this part. And so I'm not going to start over here. I'm just going to keep my eye up and line it like that. And as you can kind of see, when I fix this up, that makes this much more continuous. Okay, so as you can see, that has kind of completely changed my eye shape and made it much more fierce, which is gonna give me the opportunity to take my bronzer and blush up and bring this look up like we talked about earlier. Now taking almost a white kind of color, as you can see, tap the excess off. And you're going to stay very close in here, but we really need to start creating that that look, that dramatic part. So I'm just gonna go in and lightly just dust this in the front of my eye. Not over the part you just created, just lightly on, which is why it's important to tap off excess, because if it falls down onto the bit and you try and blend it out, sometimes it can mess it up. So once you are satisfied with your basic base of the eyeshadow, and remember the important part with this step is that before you move on, make sure that you're satisfied with it, because there's a lot of room to where you can mess with it and change it if you want, but once you do this next step, it's kind of set in stone. So just a little heads up. Anyway, so I'm going to end up taking a bit of a darker color. It's almost like a red winey kind of color to match our lovely wig. And it's kind of like a mix between this brush and this brush equals this brush. So if that kind of helps you pick out brushes. But anyways, I'm going to keep this color close to the lash line, and I think I'm just going to start stamping it on, keeping the precision of the line I created earlier, not carrying it all the way to the top because that's where we're going to do the blending, but I'm just going to kind of stamp it on like this to bring some more depth to it. A little cute little blending brush. I'm just going to lightly start blending this out, following that precision line, blending in to the lid. Okay, so I have gone in and I've added that bit more of a wine color to it, and I'm actually getting really satisfied with this, but I don't want to keep packing on color because I don't want it to start to get muddy, but I do want that kick because it's still looking a bit base. So I'm actually, and this is really scary, but I'm actually going to take black, and I'm going to take this thin little brush, just dip into black. And now the scary part with this is that you gotta be very careful of how you place it, meaning you don't want to, again, pack it on here and then blend it out because it's going to get too extreme. If you were to do your eyeliner, that is how I would explain it best. But just be very gentle. Rely more on the blending than the packing because you can always add more, but you can never take away. Okay, the scary bit is over. Now it is time for the blending, because remember, we don't want this to look like it's a liner. If we were gonna do a liner, I would have used a pencil, but we're not. We're gonna go in and we're gonna make sure that this is kind of smudgy. We want it smoky, kind of sexy almost, which I know, but it kind of is. And so I'm just taking that brush that I used before and I'm just going to lightly buff out into that color I used before. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Okay guys, so I am really excited about this. I like this look a lot, but again, it's just the powders and stuff like that. So we are actually going to go in and add some shimmer. So I'm actually going to choose a color that was closest to our like darker color over here, not black, but the darker one. And yes, if my hand does not look like it's murdered by the end of this video, then I didn't do it right. So anyways, picking up some shimmer, I'm just going to lightly, again, keeping on the lid right here, not up here because we can always blend up there. I'm just going to start lightly applying some shimmer. Kind of matches that, but is a bit lighter. Just slowly kind of creating that shape, but before it gets too superhero looking, you're gonna take your big blending brush and you're just gonna round out the top right there. Just round it out and just keep it very, you really still want that effect that this is and this is light, because that's kind of like the whole point of the look. So okay, so I'm just starting now on the other eye for the shimmer, but a little tip is if you're adding your shimmer and it's looking a bit too like it's all blending together and there's no pop, you can go in with a slightly lighter shimmer, just to apply that on top, and then that'll totally bring it back. So that's what I did. Okay, so as you can see, I'm really happy with how that is turning out, but I would like a bit more pop. So we're gonna go in with some glitter. Now the key is with this is you want a bit more of a loose glitter more than like a gel little glitter, because some companies, they will actually use like cocoa butter or something like that and mix it with the glitter, and so that when you put it on, it actually like sweats away the eyeshadow under, which sucks. So I'm just going to be mixing a bit of a looser shimmer that I have, and I'm just going to lightly apply right here. Now, the great thing about this is it's intense, right? You can blow it away and it's not gonna stick. And as you can see, that has very much brightened up this eye and brought out some of the fun bits. Now, I had no idea that this is where this would have gone. I was kind of thinking originally it was like a smoky kind of thing. But this is clearly like a night owl, but I think that fits this hair. So we'll do a wig check. What do we think? What do you think so far? Looking good? I think it looks good. Okay, I'm gonna go quickly and do the other glitter eye. Alrighty guys, all the messy fun bit is done. It is now time to finish off this look. So I'm gonna go in and take a light shimmer and just go in and highlight inside of my eye and on the top of my brow bone. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. Now you guys already know that I always go in with my brow powder. So I'm just gonna mix these colors and start filling in any gaps that I have. Oh, the scariest thing in the world is to curl your lashes when you have glitter on your lids. Oh my gosh, it's so stressful. But into the next step, I'm going to be applying curling my lashes and doing mascara. Now, if you're watching other makeup videos as well, you'll notice that a lot of people actually do their lashes and then like curl and do mascara. I like to actually do it before, and that's just because when I put lashes on, I find that most of the time when you glue them and then you do all the other stuff, it actually pulls them off and like and they don't stay on as long. So I'd like to just like, okay guys, I'm going to try not to squeal, but I am absolutely in love with this look. And so it is time for the base. Now, a big thing is we don't want it to overpower the eyes, but we do want it to complement it. So I'm going to be taking just a little bit of bronzer, keeping it much further back on my face than in front, because we don't want it to be like muddy. So I'm just going to keep further back here, higher up on the cheekbone because I want my face to be lifted. Okay, so now time for blush because I'm really happy with how it's turning out. But the thing is with blush is that we all know blush is like a make it or break it step. So I'm gonna try and do my best to keep this a bit further up again to just enhance the pulled look, but keeping it very little. And I suggest for this a more fluffy blush brush than a compact one for like for it to be more like brushed, like airbrushed. And that's about all the blush that I'm going to do. It looks like very little, but in person, it's natural. It's a very natural blush. I really don't want to go too big with it. Now, time for highlighter. Now, I'm gonna have a little fun with highlighter, and I'm actually gonna match it to the glitter that I have on my face. But remember, the problem with this is do not go so extreme with it, because then it can look cheap. So, just taking what that means is like a warmer toned highlighter, and just very lightly airbrushing tip of my cheek. Now, before I do lashes, because I like to make sure that's my last step, I'm going to go in and do my lips. Now, I want a more neutral lip because these eyes really do steal the show. So just going in with a classic, like, brown neutral. Okay, so I have done a kind of neutral lip. I think I like it. It's growing on me, but if it changes later in this video, I'll let you know. But moving on to lashes. Now, the great thing with doing big looks is that you can go one of two ways with lashes. You can either go really extreme or you can go really simple. And I am actually going to go really simple. And that's just because there's a lot that I want people to see. And so I'm going to go with something that complements it. So this is not being glued. This is just for you guys to see a bit. So you can see how that kind of complements it a bit. As for like if you used a big fluffy lash, it would cover all of this up. So that really depends on what you're looking for, but today we're going simple. So I'll be right back as I put those on. Okay guys, so I have lashes on, so I might move a little weird because they're still drying. But I wanted to show you guys, this is the final makeup look. So, little moment. I am so happy with how this has turned out. Oh my gosh, I think it's gonna work so well with the wig. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this, but it is now time for the wig, the thing that makes this all come together. So I'm going to put this on. So I might put a time lapse over this because this is probably going to be one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. Because I've never done this before, ever. So this may or may not go well. We will see. Oh my God. I look so different. Oh my God. Okay, so I just added a necklace, so it's not much, but it just kind of finishes things off. But I want to do a quick before and after, so sliding onto that. I can't believe this is how it turned out. I feel like a totally different person. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. And if you want to see more fun stuff like this, please leave it down in the comments below. So please don't forget to give this video a like, a comment, and a subscribe to my channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time on Mandala Makeup. Bye everyone.